Discover Canada study questions. For more practice, go to CanadianCitizenshipTestKit.com. Where does Canada's economy rank in the world? A. Canada has the largest economy in the world. B. Canada has one of the 5 largest economies in the world. C. Canada has one of the 10 largest economies in the world. D. Canada's economy is about the 25th largest in the world. The correct answer is C. Canada has one of the 10 largest economies in the world.
Which police forces have a process by which people can bring their concerns about the police to the attention of the police? A. This does not exist in Canada because it is not necessary. B. Almost all police forces. C. Only the RCMP. D. Some municipal police forces. The correct answer is B. Almost all police forces.
Which Canadian province is known as the home of Anne of Green Gables? A. Nova Scotia. B. Newfoundland and Labrador. C. Prince Edward Island. D. New Brunswick. The correct answer is C. Prince Edward Island.
What did the Sioux follow at the time that Europeans arrived? A. Herds of any animal that they could find. B. Migrating fish. C. The seasons for farming. D. Bison or buffalo. The correct answer is D. Bison, buffalo. Which of these are examples of service industries? A. Construction, automobiles, and government. B. Transportation, healthcare, and tourism. C. High technology equipment, banking, and food. D. Retail services, aerospace technology, and clothing. The correct answer is B. Transportation, healthcare, and tourism. What can cabinet ministers also be known as? A. Ministers of the Crown. B. Inner Circlers. C. Cabinet Masters. D. Cabinet Makers. The correct answer is A. Ministers of the Crown.
Where do the majority of Métis live? A. In central Canada. B. In the Prairie Provinces. C. In the Maritime Provinces. D. In the Northern Provinces. The correct answer is B. In the Prairie Provinces. What is the capital city of New Brunswick? A. Moncton. B. St. John. C. Fredericton. D. St. John's. The correct answer is C. Fredericton.
Which organization coordinates Canada's efforts in space? A. Outer Realm Scientists. B. Canadian Outer Space Consortium. C. Canadian Space Agency. D. NASA. The correct answer is C. Canadian Space Agency.
How many electoral districts are there in Canada at this time? A. 338. B. 803. C. 318. D. 288. The correct answer is A. 338. What are Canadian laws intended to do? A. Provide order to society, a quick and easy way to settle disputes, and to express the values and beliefs of politicians. B. Provide order to governments, a peaceful way to settle disputes, and to express the values and beliefs of Canadians. C. Provide order to the legal system, a conflictual way to settle disputes, and to express the values and beliefs of Canadians. D. Provide order to society, a peaceful way to settle disputes, and to express the values and beliefs of Canadians. The correct answer is B. Provide order to governments, a peaceful way to settle disputes, and to express the values and beliefs of Canadians. What do we call a law before it becomes a law? A. A bill. B. A pre-law. C. A proposed law. D. A suggestion. The correct answer is A. A bill. Where do Canadian laws come from? A. Habeas corpus and Magna Carta. B. Laws passed by Parliament and the provincial legislatures, English common law, the Civil Code of France, and the unwritten constitution that we have inherited from Great Britain. C. A combination of British laws, American laws, French laws, First Nations laws. D. All laws in Canada have been written for Canada, in Canada, by Canadians. The correct answer is B. Laws passed by Parliament and the provincial legislatures, English common law, the Civil Code of France, and the unwritten constitution that we have inherited from Great Britain.
Why is the beaver a symbol of Canada? A. Because it is on the Canadian nickel. B. Because Canada is the only country where this hard-working animal lives. C. Because it is industrious and hard-working, and because of the history of the fur trade. D. Because Aboriginals used to keep beavers as pets. The correct answer is C. Because it is industrious and hard-working, and because of the history of the fur trade. In the early days of Canada, what was the economy mostly based on? A. Tourism, farming, and publishing. B. Farming and exporting natural resources such as fur, fish, and timber. C. Oil, inventions, and mining of asbestos, nickel, and iron. D. Publishing, fine art, and entertainment. The correct answer is B. Farming and exporting natural resources such as fur, fish, and timber. What is Canada's highest court? A. The Senate. B. The top court of Canada. C. The Privy Council. D. The Supreme Court of Canada. The correct answer is D. The Supreme Court of Canada.
Where did Canadians fight bravely and suffer losses in the unsuccessful defense of a city in the Second World War? A. Manila. B. Tokyo. C. Hong Kong. D. Bangkok. The correct answer is C. Hong Kong. What does the phrase "children of a common mother" refer to? A. The fact that Canada and the USA were both once British colonies. B. The fact that a lot of families have members on both sides of the Canada-USA border. C. The fact that the birth rates in Canada and the USA used to be much higher. D. The fact that Canada has French history, but the USA does not. The answer is A. The fact that Canada and the USA were both once British colonies. Where did the Stanley Cup come from? A. It was bought by the NHL in 1904. B. It was donated by NHL Commissioner Lloyd Stanley in 1892. C. It was donated by Governor General Lord Stanley in 1892. D. It is a war trophy from the Battle on the Plains of Abraham in 1759. The correct answer is C. It was donated by Governor General Lord Stanley in 1892. What is English common law? A. Laws and traditions from Quebec. B. Laws and traditions that we inherited from England. C. Laws and traditions that Canada developed on its own. D. Laws and traditions from English Canada. The correct answer is B. Laws and traditions that we inherited from England. What does the phrase "the last spike" refer to? A. The completion of the Canadian Pacific Railway. B. The rebuilding of the Canadian Pacific Railway. C. The beginning of the Canadian Pacific Railway. D. The price of the Canadian Pacific Railway. The correct answer is A. The completion of the Canadian Pacific Railway.
How can we describe the role that the sovereign plays in Canada's Parliament? A. The sovereign plays an optional role. B. The sovereign plays a nonpartisan role. C. The sovereign plays a partisan role. D. The sovereign plays a political role. The correct answer is B. The sovereign plays a nonpartisan role. Who makes the laws in Canada? A. Elected representatives. B. Political parties. C. Judges. D. Lawyers. The correct answer is A. Elected representatives.
What are the names of the major federal political parties in Canada? A. The Federalists, the Democratic Party, and the Separatists. B. The Conservatives, the New Democratic Party, and the Liberals. C. The Democrats and the Republicans. D. The Social Democrats, the National Socialists, and the National Party. The correct answer is B. The Conservatives, the New Democratic Party, and the Liberals.
When did O Canada officially become Canada's national anthem? A. 1867. B. 1982. C. 1967. D. 1980. The correct answer is D. 1980. When was the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms added to the Constitution of Canada? A. 1865. B. 1905. C. 1867. D. 1982. The correct answer is D. 1982. Who can question the decisions of the Cabinet? A. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet. B. The Senate. C. All members of Parliament. D. Only the official opposition. The correct answer is C. All members of Parliament.
What religion were French-speaking inhabitants of the province of Quebec? A. Catholic. B. Protestant. C. Mixed Catholic and Protestant. D. Many different denominations of Christianity. The correct answer is A. Catholic. Which phrase best describes Canada and the USA's trading relationship? A. The largest bilateral trading relationship in the world. B. The third largest trading relationship in the world. C. A difficult relationship that is fraught with disputes. D. A minimally acceptable relationship that pleases neither side. The correct answer is A. The largest bilateral trading relationship in the world. What does the Canadian justice system guarantee everyone? A. Due process. B. Unlimited legal advice. C. A way to pay for your crimes. D. An individual cell while you wait for your trial. The correct answer is A, due process. An electoral district is also known as a constituency, B, locality, C, local place, D, election area. The correct answer is A, constituency. Which of these was a symbol of the colony of New France? A, the fleur-de-lis, B, the crown of France, C, a golden lion, D, the tricolor flag. The correct answer is A, the fleur-de-lis.
When did Riel's second rebellion take place? A, 1869, B, 1890, C, 1880, D, 1885. The correct answer is D, 1885. Who really chooses the Governor General? A, the Cabinet, B, the Supreme Council, C, the Sovereign, D, the Prime Minister. The correct answer is D, the Prime Minister. Which Canadian province has the smallest population? A, New Brunswick, B, Nova Scotia, C, Prince Edward Island, D, Saskatchewan. The correct answer is C, Prince Edward Island. Canada accepted a large number of refugees, 37,000, from one country in 1956. Where were these refugees from? A, Czechoslovakia, B, Hungary, C, Austria, D, Poland. The correct answer is B, Hungary. What are elected members responsible for? A, passing laws, approving and monitoring expenditures, and keeping the government accountable. B, passing laws, making decisions, and voting for the Prime Minister. C, making decisions, choosing the government, and voting for the Prime Minister. D, approving and monitoring expenditures, making decisions, and choosing the sovereign. The correct answer is A, passing laws, approving and monitoring expenditures, and keeping the government accountable. In terms of its economy, how can Canada best be described? A, as a growing nation, B, as an industrial nation, C, as a producing nation, D, as a trading nation. The correct answer is D, as a trading nation.
What does the Canada Health Act guarantee? A, A basic standard of medical coverage. B. Coverage of all medical expenses. C. Coverage of experimental drugs and treatments. D. Healthcare premiums are illegal. The correct answer is A. A basic standard of medical coverage. What do mobility rights guarantee? A. The right to live and work where the government tells you to live and work, based on the needs of the economy. B. The right to live and work anywhere in Canada, the right to enter and leave Canada freely, and to apply for a passport. C. The right to live and work anywhere in the province you live in. D. The right to live and work only where other people speak your language. The correct answer is B. The right to live and work anywhere in Canada, the right to enter and leave Canada freely, and to apply for a passport.
Which Canadian province is known as the birthplace of Confederation? A. Quebec. B. Ontario. C. Prince Edward Island. D. Nova Scotia. The correct answer is C. Prince Edward Island.
Which role has the most power and influence in directing Canada? A. Head of the Council. B. Head of State. C. Head of Government. D. Head of the Commonwealth. The correct answer is C. Head of Government.
Who enforces laws in Canada's big cities? A. Provincial police forces. B. The RCMP. C. Municipal police forces. D. Provincial police forces and the RCMP. The correct answer is C. Municipal police forces.
What does the phrase due process mean? A. The principle that the government must respect all the legal rights a person is entitled to under the law. B. There is a due date for criminal trials. C. All those suspected of a crime must be processed quickly. D. All cases must be duly processed. The correct answer is A. The principle that the government must respect all the legal rights a person is entitled to under the law. What are the provinces that make up the Atlantic region? A. Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. B. Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. C. Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Quebec. D. Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. The correct answer is B. Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. What does the word Inuit mean in the Inuktitut language? A. Northerners. B. The Snow People. C. The People. D. Our People. The correct answer is C. The People.
What is the engine of economic growth in Canada? A. Fishing. B. Industry. C. Agriculture. D. Commerce. The correct answer is D. Commerce.
What year did the British North America Act become law? A. 1774. B. 1802. C. 1864. D. 1867. The correct answer is D. 1867. Which of these was the most important outcome of the Royal Commission on Bilingualism and Biculturalism? A. The Official Languages Act. B. English and French Act. C. The Culture Act. D. Canadian Languages Act. The correct answer is A. The Official Languages Act.
Who are the Métis people? A. They are a distinct people of mixed ancestry from around the world. B. They are a distinct people of mixed Aboriginal and European ancestry. C. They are a distinct people of mixed First Nations and Inuit ancestry. D. They are a distinct people of mixed Inuit and European ancestry. The correct answer is B. They are a distinct people of mixed Aboriginal and European ancestry. Which of these is an example of a responsibility of citizenship? A. Teaching your language to your children. B. Cooking food from your country. C. Obeying the law. D. Learning the words of religious texts. The correct answer is C. Obeying the law.
What country is Canada's largest trading partner? A. European Union. B. Great Britain. C. China. D. USA. The correct answer is D. USA.
Which of these is an example of a provincial responsibility? A. Aboriginal affairs. B. Criminal justice. C. Highways. D. Firefighting. The correct answer is C. Highways. How many Canadians served in the First World War? A. 600,000. B. 1 million. C. 500,000. D. 60,000. The correct answer is A. $600,000.
What is Canada's best known symbol? A. The maple leaf. B. The fleur-de-lis. C. The maple tree. D. A snowflake. The correct answer is A. The maple leaf. What is Canada's national winter sport? A. Curling. B. Hockey. C. Swimming. D. Ice fishing. The correct answer is B. Hockey.
Which Canadian region is made up of only one province? A. West Coast. B. Prairies. C. Central Canada. D. Atlantic. The correct answer is A. West Coast. When did people start to use the maple leaf as a symbol of Canada? A. In the 1700s. B. In the 1800s. C. 1867. D. 1608. The correct answer is A. In the 1700s. Voting in elections is an example of what? A. A way to show you are interested in politics. B. A duty that the man of the family must do. C. A responsibility of citizenship. D. A law that all Canadians must follow. The correct answer is C. A responsibility of citizenship. What is unemployment insurance now known as? A. Employment insurance. B. Job insurance. C. Guaranteed income. D. Job protection. The correct answer is A. Employment insurance.
Where did the Acadians first settle? A. In what are now the Prairie Provinces. B. In what are now the Maritime Provinces. C. In what is now Central Canada. D. In what is now the USA. The correct answer is B. In what are now the Maritime Provinces. What does it mean to say that a bill receives royal assent? A. It means the bill, through the Governor-General, has received the approval of the Cabinet and the Prime Minister. B. It means the bill, through the Governor-General, has received the approval of the Sovereign. C. It means the bill has received the direct approval of the Sovereign. D. It means the bill, through the Governor-General, has received the approval of the Prime Minister. The correct answer is B. It means the bill, through the Governor-General, has received the approval of the Sovereign.
Who decides if there is to be an early election? A. The Supreme Court. B. The Sovereign. C. The Prime Minister. D. The Governor General. The correct answer is C. The Prime Minister.
What are the most important rights in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? A. Helping others in the community, learning an official language, equality of all people, and being part of a faith community. B. Habeas corpus, Magna Carta, freedom rights, and official languages. C. Obeying the law, serving on a jury, following the orders of the police, and freedom of the press. D. Mobility rights, Aboriginal people's rights, official language rights, and multiculturalism. The correct answer is D. Mobility rights, Aboriginal people's rights, official language rights, and multiculturalism. When were the Canada Pension Plan and the Quebec Pension Plan introduced? A. 1965. B. 1970. C. 1975. D. 1980. The correct answer is A. 1965. Which phrase best describes the legal situation in Quebec after the Quebec Act? A. French civil law, British criminal law. B. French civil and criminal law. C. British civil law, French criminal law. D. British civil and criminal law. The correct answer is A. French civil law, British criminal law.
What is the Canadian judicial system founded on? A. The presumption of innocence. B. An excellent police force. C. Judges who know how to determine if a suspect is guilty or innocent. D. Lawyers. The correct answer is A. The presumption of innocence. When is gender-based violence acceptable in Canada? A. It is acceptable if the family thinks it is necessary. B. It is not acceptable unless the whole family agrees. C. It is acceptable if a father does not approve of his daughter's habits. D. It is never acceptable in any situation. The correct answer is D. It is never acceptable in any situation. Who are the people in the cabinet? A. The cabinet ministers. B. The cabinet ministers, the prime minister, and the governor general. C. The cabinet ministers and the prime minister. D. All members of parliament. The correct answer is C. The cabinet ministers and the prime minister. Approximately how many Anglo-Quebecers are there? A. 700,000. B. 1 million. C. 500,000. D. 200,000. The correct answer is B. 1 million.
Which province is Canada's largest producer of hydroelectricity? A. Prince Edward Island. B. Alberta. C. British Columbia. D. Quebec. The correct answer is D. Quebec.
When did Canada enter into a free trade agreement with the USA? A. 1990. B. 1985. C. 1988. D. 2001. The correct answer is C. 1988. What do the letters NATO stand for? A. North American Trade Organization. B. North African Treaty Optimization. C. North American Trade Organization. D. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The correct answer is D. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. A large number of black loyalists left Nova Scotia for Freetown, Sierra Leone in 1792. Why did they leave? A. They were forced to leave by the government. B. They had been given poor land to farm. C. They did not like the colder Canadian weather. D. They wanted to return to Africa. The correct answer is B. They had been given poor land to farm. Which province is known for its oil and beef? A. Alberta. B. Saskatchewan. C. Manitoba. D. Ontario. The correct answer is A. Alberta.
Where are the ancestors of Aboriginals believed to have migrated from? A. Asia. B. South America. C. North Africa. D. Europe. The correct answer is A. Asia. What are official awards called in Canada? A. Medals. B. Orders. C. Decorations. D. Honors. The correct answer is D. Honors.
After the polling stations close, who counts the ballots? A. Vote officials. B. The candidates. C. Scrutineers. D. Election officers. The correct answer is D. Election officers.
What is the sovereign's role in Canada? A. Head of the House of Commons. B. Head of government. C. Head of state. D. Head of the cabinet. The correct answer is C. Head of state.
What are the approximate numbers of Anglophones and Francophones in Canada today? A. 15 million Anglophones and 7 million Francophones. B. 18 million Anglophones and 7 million Francophones. C. 28 million Anglophones and 7 million Francophones. D. 12 million Anglophones and 7 million Francophones. The correct answer is B. 18 million Anglophones and 7 million Francophones.
What country or countries does Canada share a land border with? A. The USA and Mexico. B. The USA. C. The USA and France. D. The USA and Denmark. The correct answer is B. The USA.
What is the best definition of a right? A. A right is something that others want you to do. B. A right is a duty, like serving in the military. C. A right is something that you can expect, like to be treated fairly by the police. D. A right is something that you can expect, like to pay taxes. The correct answer is C. A right is something that you can expect, like to be treated fairly by the police. Who captured Detroit for the British, July 1812? A. Major General Robert Ross. B. Major General Sir Isaac Brock. C. Lieutenant Colonel Charles de Salberry. D. Brigadier General William Hull. The correct answer is B. Major General Sir Isaac Brock.
What is the highest honor for bravery available to Canadians? A. The Order of the Maple Leaf. B. The Canada Medal. C. The Bravery Cross. D. The Victoria Cross. The correct answer is D. The Victoria Cross.
What were the goals of residential schools? A. To educate and assimilate Aboriginals into mainstream Canadian culture. B. To keep Aboriginals away from mainstream Canadian culture. C. To encourage Aboriginals to retain their heritage and customs. D. To allow Europeans to learn from Aboriginals. The correct answer is A. To educate and assimilate Aboriginals into mainstream Canadian culture.
Which invention is Joseph Armand Bombardier credited with? A. A new way of waxing skis. B. The artificial snow machine. C. The snowmobile. D. The chairlift. The correct answer is C, the snowmobile.
Canada's coat of arms includes symbols from which of these countries? A. England, France, Scotland, and Ireland. B. England, France, Italy, and Holland. C. England, France, Scotland, and Wales. D. England, France, Ukraine, and the USA. The correct answer is A. England, France, Scotland, and Ireland.
Which of these are examples of manufacturing industries? A. Construction, automobiles, and government. B. Paper, high technology equipment, and machinery. C. High technology equipment, banking, and food. D. Agriculture, paper, and healthcare. The correct answer is B. Paper, high technology equipment, and machinery.
What are two important documents that protect Canadians' rights and freedoms? A. Magna Carta and Habeas Corpus. B. The Freedom Acts and Habeas Corpus. C. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and Law 51. D. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Protection Act. The correct answer is A. Magna Carta and Habeas Corpus.
Who puts ballots in the ballot box? A. The poll clerk. B. The person who is voting. C. The candidate. D. An official from the government. The correct answer is B. The person who is voting. What do Alexander Roberts Dunn, Philip Conowall, Billy Bishop, and Paul Triquet all have in common? A. They are all famous sports stars. B. They all won the Victoria Cross for bravery in the presence of the enemy. C. They are all famous Canadian politicians. D. They are all famous Canadian scientists and researchers. The correct answer is B. They all won the Victoria Cross for bravery in the presence of the enemy. Which city is the headquarters of the Canadian Navy's Pacific Fleet? A. Vancouver. B. Saanich. C. Kamloops. D. Port Alberni. The correct answer is A. Vancouver. What is the name of the place that citizens go to vote? A. Selection station. B. Voting station. C. Election station. D. Polling station. The correct answer is D. Polling station. Who settles legal disputes in Canada? A. The courts. B. The police. C. The government. D. Political parties. The correct answer is A. The courts.
Which of these is a historic name for Canada? A. The Greatest Federation. B. The Dominional Federation. C. The Federation of Canada. D. The Great Dominion. The correct answer is D. The Great Dominion.
What is the group of seven? A. A group of writers who defined the quintessential style of Canadian writing. B. A group of painters who developed a particular style of painting. C. A group of musicians who developed new types of uniquely Canadian music. D. A group of athletes who dominated the sport of hockey for many years. The correct answer is B. A group of painters who developed a particular style of painting.
How can a cabinet lose the confidence of the House? A. If a majority of the elected representatives vote against a confidence motion, the cabinet has lost the confidence of the House. B. If a majority of the opposition members of Parliament vote against a confidence motion, the cabinet has lost the confidence of the House. C. If a majority of the cabinet votes against a confidence motion, the cabinet has lost the confidence of the House. D. If the Prime Minister votes against a confidence motion, the cabinet has lost the confidence of the House. The correct answer is A. If a majority of the elected representatives vote against a confidence motion, the cabinet has lost the confidence of the House.
What is NAFTA? A. North American Free Tariff Arbitration, the body that tries to free North American companies from tariffs. B. North American Financial Trading Arguments, the court that settles trade disputes in North America. C. North American Free Trade Agreement, a trade agreement between Canada, the USA, and Mexico. D. North American Financial Toll Agreement, the document that sets the taxes and tariffs for trade in North America. The correct answer is C. North American Free Trade Agreement, a trade agreement between Canada, the USA, and Mexico. In 2020, NAFTA was replaced by the Canada-US-Mexico Agreement. What are the people who run in an election called? A. Candidates. B. Hopefuls. C. Vote getters. D. Party representatives. The correct answer is A. Candidates.
What are the primary responsibilities of the police in Canada? A. To keep people happy and to make new laws. B. To keep people safe and to protect politicians. C. To keep people safe and to enforce the law. D. To keep people from protesting against the government and to enforce the will of the government. The correct answer is C. to keep people safe and to enforce the law. Discover Canada Study Questions. For more practice, go to CanadianCitizenshipTestKit.com.